Welcome to KGO Sports Talk. Kevin George here. Want to get into March Madness and quickly talk about Tiger Woods and his interview today. First things first, with regard to the NCAA tournament, awesome weekend, phenomenal games from Thursday to Sunday. We obviously, I'm sure a lot of people's brackets are like mine and are completely blown at this point, especially the Midwest region. The Kansas game, awesome game. Um, really enjoyed watching it. Ali Farokhmanesh, I had not heard of him until this game. I had not seen or had the pleasure of seeing Northern Iowa play yet this year. They're 30-4 for a reason. 30-4 overall, and obviously got that 30th win against a tough Kansas squad. Um, Ali Farokhmanesh, monster game, hit a three with under 30 seconds left in the game to put Northern Iowa up four. It was lights out after that. They controlled the game throughout, made Kansas play their tempo. Kansas is a run and gun team, and Northern Iowa was able to slow it down, keep them to a dull roar, and end up getting the biggest upset of the year, I would say, especially in March Madness. Moving on to today, SU played an incredible game. SU pulling it out big time. Was up 32 points at one point against Gonzaga. Boeheim then, decided to put the brakes on like he normally does. Um, Class act with Boeheim, of course. Um, Players of the game today. Um, Elias Harris played incredible for Gonzaga. He was their, without him there today, they would have lost by 50. I mean, they just had nobody else showed up. Matt Bolden, Player of the Year, in his conference, in the West Coast Conference there, really did nothing. Um, had under 10 points in the game, had no points in the first half. Robert Sacra played pretty well. Was 8 of 12 from the field, ended up with 17 points. But really, it was just something that Wesley Johnson and company completely dominated the first, the last 10 minutes of the first half and the entire second half. For just a huge performance that they needed with Arinze Onuaku out. Wesley Johnson ended up with 31 points, 14 rebounds. I've got to think he's potential MVP of the tournament if they make the Final Four. Just because of the way that he's playing. His hand looks like it's fully healed, or at least he's shooting and playing like it. He's got phenomenal ups, as we all know, and it's really showing. It's propelling SU, getting them over the hurdles that they now have with Onuaku out. Foul trouble played a part in this game and could have been devastating if if it even made a difference. If it was a tight game, SU could have potentially lost because of that foul trouble. Rick Jackson, 3 early fouls with or 10 minutes into the first half. That could have been a big problem. So luckily for SU, that wasn't an issue in this game. But when we get closer to when we are leaning into the Final Four here, with a Sweet 16 matchup against Butler and then a potential Elite 8 matchup against Kansas State, they're going to need to watch themselves with the fouls. If Onuaku doesn't play, as I've said before, they're going to be in big trouble. Because they need, they got to bring in Deshaunte Riley. Hats off to the guy. He didn't mess up too much today. I mean, he had, he had a couple turnovers and he made a couple bad poor decisions. But overall, he did what he needed to do today. He needed to, spell Rick Jackson for a little bit, give Rick a little bit of time on the bench, and he picked up some fouls. He made Robert Sacre work for his points, and it helped SU win today. So hats off to Deshaunte Riley. Overall, just want to get into the Tiger Woods thing. I watched the interview. I'm sure a lot of people saw it. It's something that, you know, I didn't like how he didn't want to answer a couple of the questions. He was saying it was in the police report or whatever. It's like, Tiger, just come out. If you're going to do a press conference, come out and say what you say. You know, that's what I'm looking at through this whole thing. You know, what do you have to say, not what's in a police report. You know, if I wanted to read the police report, I would do that. But you know, Tom Rinaldi, I thought handled the interview very well. He asked, you know, the one question that I was the most perplexed about was, "What are you in treatment for, Tiger? What are you getting treated for?" And he really he said it's between him and Elon. So I mean, I would assume he's in there for sex addiction or something along those lines, but he wouldn't say it today. So I guess we'll all have to just figure it out. Um, I'm a fan of Tiger. I love the fact that Tiger is the best player of all time, and I'm certainly a fan of his um, for what he does on the golf course. I don't really care about his personal life, but I do like to comment on these interviews that he has, because he's getting brought back down to earth. He thought he was, you know, He-Man or something. You know, he was, you know, the rules didn't apply to him, and that quickly has changed. You know, the rules apply to everybody, Tiger. Um, so we will. I'm looking forward to him at the Masters. I can't wait to see how he plays at the Masters. I hope he plays well, and I hope he has a good year on the tour, because I'm looking forward to him coming back. But March Madness and the Masters, great time of year. Really pumped. SU makes it to the Sweet 16. One other Big East team made it, West Virginia today. Obviously, Duke pulled out a victory. Purdue, in a tight one, made it to the Sweet 16 as well. We all know about Northern Iowa. And Michigan State, another big game today with their guard Lucius there hitting a three at the buzzer to beat Maryland. But looking forward to this coming Thursday. Everybody take care, and we'll touch base with you shortly.